Good evening from the Holbrook family and best wishes for our holiday season this year. The story that I'm going to share with you is a personal story that happened to our family a number of years ago. And as I begin sharing this story with you, I'd like to dedicate it to my parents. And some of you know that my mother passed away just a couple of weeks ago. And so for this year, obviously, our family is saddened by her passing, but the story that I'm going to tell is one that warms my heart and is one that reminds us of the eternal nature of families and of the wonderful act of service. So I don't want you to feel, bad for me necessarily because my mother has passed away, but um, I do hope that the story is one that touches your heart. Um, the story was actually written in the mid 80s about a time that occurred to us as a family in 1965. And just so that you understand the story maybe a little bit better, the story was actually written by my sister Nancy. And so the I in the story is my sister. So it's not me that's the I in the story. The year was 1965. I was only 7 years old. My father, Clarence, ran the local plumbing company in Bountiful, Utah. It was Christmas Eve, and my dad was going to close up his shop early so he could spend Christmas Eve with our family. He made one last work call to an apartment that had a leaky tub. When he entered the apartment, it was bare. There was hardly any furniture, not even a Christmas tree or Christmas presents. Now, as my dad went to work, the two children, a boy and a girl, followed him around, totally engrossed and wonderfully curious about what he was doing. My dad started to ask them questions about if they were ready for Christmas. The children's reply shocked and stunned my father. The children said, Santa's not coming this year because our father is in the hospital and we have no money. My dad's heart was understandably broken, but at the same time, he started to make plans to help this family have a Christmas. To fix the leaky tub, my dad had to cut a hole in the wall to get to the tub fixtures. Now, to cut this hole, he needed to cut through the mother's bedroom closet, and all that hung in the closet were two dresses. My dad quickly checked for the dress sizes. He then finished his work and headed home. Upon his return home that afternoon, he held a family meeting. He told us of this family having no Christmas and asked for our help with his plan. We were all very excited and touched to become involved in his secret project. Now, our family was not rich by any means, so to help this family, we would also have to make a sacrifice. We would have to give up one of our already wrapped Christmas presents. The gifts I gave up would have been my first Barbie doll. My mother, Mary, who is a talented seamstress, had made a variety of doll clothing for Barbie. My sister and my two older brothers also made the same sacrifice of their wrapped presents. My mother went shopping with the last little bit of Christmas money we had and purchased all the makings for a Christmas feast. She then purchased two new dresses for the mother. My parents had a friend in our LDS stake, J. David Call. He often dressed up as Santa Claus for our ward and for family parties. My dad asked Mr. Call if he would mind dressing up one last time for that year and help us with our Christmas family. He said, of course. On his own, Mr. Call came up with the Christmas tree and all of the trimmings. He packed everything up and headed over to our Christmas family. Back at home, our family waited with wonderful anticipation to hear back from Santa on how our Christmas family reacted to the real Santa delivering Christmas. The words were priceless to us as Mr. Call reported back to us on the family's reaction. The mother could not stop crying. She could not figure out who could have done this for them. Our family was never sad that year that we gave up a Christmas gift. We were too excited that we gave up Christmas to someone who would never have had Christmas. Under my dad and mother's direction, we for many years have secretly helped others so they could have a Christmas. Our parents have been tireless at serving others all of their lives. Even in their older, aged, weakened state, they have always done their best to be Santa all year long. So as a family, as we reflect back on Christmases past, and especially the Christmas of 1965, there usually is never a dry eye as we talk about the Christmas of 1965.